Sleepers Podcast, Wednesday, January 17th. Never say that karma isn't real. Never say that God isn't real, because I picked against Purdue. I picked Indiana to win outright. I called the demons. I called on them to arise, to show up, to fill Assembly Hall with their demonic ways. And instead, all I was treated to was Fletcher Lawyer laughs and giggles. And now Purdue wins, and now I'm sick. I'm sick as a dog cart. I look and feel like shit. I sound like shit. I wouldn't wish anyone listening to me in this state on my worst enemy. And here we are. But I power through for the people and for the program. How are you this morning?
I'm doing better than you. And because of that, I will be here to uplift you in any way possible that I can. And hopefully you can exercise your demons and your immune system to bounce back very quickly.
I need some emergency C, as you have told me previously, but didn't even have time to make that before we jumped on this call. Also, my daughter's sick. That's the worst part. Like, if I'm sick, it's like, whatever, work from bed, be sick. That's okay. But like the daughter's sniffling, I feel so bad for her. It's rough. It's rough in the Waddell household. You know what? I have a blanket with egg on it right over there. I just remembered that. That's great. This week sucks. Let's start with your YouTube comment of the day. What do you got, Cart?
Once again, because I haven't said this in a while, thank you to everyone who has been commenting on all our YouTube videos. Keep it up. We do actually, well, at least at this point of Sleepers Media, I actually go through all the YouTube comments. Obviously, we don't read them all, but I do like looking at the feedback in the comments. So I do have an affinity of reading them all. I guess that, well, this ties into about 17 comments that I saw, but I guess Purdue does have candy stripe pants, but they don't like calling them candy stripe pants, and I guess the students wear them. And someone brought up the topic of what if like Michigan State had a green and white, but like winged helmet like Michigan. And it got me thinking, Gregory, if you could swap like a helmet and like a team combo, do you have one in your head that you would do?
Mm. It's a good question.
Isn't that the question you really want when you're waking up sick, kind of like 5 minutes off the shower and you got a sore throat? Isn't that just a great question?
Yeah, you're really putting me right into the fire. It is a great question. I saw some of the same sentiments of like, ew, we would never mention candy stripes again. We're Purdue. And like respect, that's fine. But also like they'd be sick, I think. I'm sure Michigan State people would say the same thing about winged helmets, but also like they'd be sick. Winged helmets are dope, in my opinion. Your card's gonna say they're not, but they are. Like, don't tell me that when you used to play like college football, 2K, whatever, or the customized team thing, that you didn't choose the winged helmet every time, no matter what your team colors were. I don't know. It's really off-putting to like see the exact rival team's colors do it, but like either the Ohio State Buckeye like pride stickers in a different color would be cool, I think, or the winged helmet would be my answer.
Yeah, I don't have like an exact answer, and I don't know if anyone's going to make this correlation or understand this, but I want University of Washington's colors with Oregon's design team. Like, I love Oregon's uniforms. I'm not the biggest fan of Oregon's colors. Like, they don't do it for me. But if I could get like the purple and the silver and the gold color that the Washington Huskies have with the white too, I love that with just like Nike and Oregon's creative equipment team.
Guy who loves green and white doesn't love green and white
Oregon's not green and white. They're green and yellow.
and white
I mean, they're green and yellow.
and white and black.
Are you a green and yellow guy?
I like green and yellow, yeah.
What color does green and yellow make when you mix it?
Probably brown.
Nope, red.
Well, how do you know that?
Well, because it's not true and I just made it up. So should we go to the Discord comments?
I think it's brown.
It might be.
Let's go to the Discord comments. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. Just do it. That's all I got. There's a link in the And
Vicks Vapor Rub is expensive, and the Waddell family needs it. So
there
for
was a
this,
lot of there was a lot of challenging me from the Discord last night in a variety of ways, which is all fair game. I respect it, but a lot of like, let's see the bet slips, Mr. Picked Indiana. Can I just make it unequivocally clear? You never got to question the bet slips. Okay. If there's one thing you don't got to question, it's that I'm backing up my talk with my walk in the wallet in the betting apps. It is what it is. And you know what? If there's someone out there who makes bad predictions and predicts upsets but doesn't bet it, that's also perfectly okay for the record. Like I had somebody in my Twitter mentions being like, Greg, normally love your stuff. Like, appreciate all the work you do, but I hope you lost so much money last night. Like, huh? No. There's no like cordial, like, hey, hope you lost thousands of dollars because you picked against my team. Like, it's a dick move. Sorry. That's been on my mind since last night. To the Discord comments from Ryan the Lion, who says, on this track, is fourth year Trey Holloman better than fourth year AJ Hogard?
uh, no, no, because I don't want to fall victim to the thing with like Trey. I like Trey in this role. If Trey was playing the AJ Hogard role, would it look the same? I don't think so. But I mean, I guess there's a world, but I would say no.
It wouldn't look the same. Would it look better though? That's my question.
It depending on what's around him, it might. Yeah.
I think it's possible. Just a reminder that sophomore AJ Hogard played 20 minutes a game, could not beat out Tyson Walker, who was scared to shoot, and had 7 points, 4.8 assists to 2 turnovers per game. Uh, Not exactly mind-blowing numbers. He got a lot better his junior year, and then he's essentially been the same guy into his senior year. More consistent lately, which gotta give him credit for. But I do think like the brighter spots of Trey Holloman have been brighter than sophomore AJ Hogard's bright spot. Like Trey Holloman hit 5 threes in a game. I don't know if AJ hit 5 threes that whole year, his sophomore year, without looking it up. So his assist to turnover rate is stupid. If I was really pressed into it, I think I would say that by Trey Holloman's senior year, he will be a more impactful player for Michigan State than AJ Hogard. I don't know if that means he's the point guard. I don't know if that means he's a shooting guard. He might be a two guard next to Jeremy Fears in the best case scenario, but I think I believe in Trey Holloman more than I believe in AJ.
I think Michigan State basketball will take the next step as a team, successful wise, when the first thing talked about with our point guards isn't assist rate percentage and turnover ratio,
Mm.
assist to turnover ratio.
Not a big assist to turnover rate guy.
I am, but if all when you talk about the great point guards in the country and the conference, that's not the first thing you bring up about them.
It kind of is. I feel like that's
It-
honestly, I feel like assist turnovers is maybe the most important thing a point guard can do.
I think assist percentage is one of the most fake stats of all time.
Some arenas it is. Some have accused the Breslin Center of juicing assist numbers for a couple of years.
Scorekeeper's done great. Everyone does great. Game day staff, stripes,
Yeah. All right.
scorekeeper does great.
Sure. Boom Fizzle 79 says, what do you think is the best route for long tenured coaches to handle their retirement, barring getting fired? Should they just do it out of the blue? Is it better to be public about it, bring in a successor early to effectively hand off the reins, allow players and recruits to know what they're committing to?
Um, mm, I don't know if there's any like right answer or right way to do it. I do agree that there should be some sort of behind the scenes communication with teams, successor, maybe things like that, recruits, just because you don't want them blindsided. But also not a big fan of like farewell tours. Like Coach K's farewell tour wasn't for me. Yeah. I think like behind the scenes work and then just do it after the season.
Yeah, what not to do is announce a retirement tour, get gifts everywhere you go, then get pieced up by your biggest rival in your farewell ceremony and then in the Final Four. That's what
Yeah.
not to do. What also not to do is just like leave in the middle of the night for Cleveland, Ohio. That's also what not to do. So a bunch of different ways to do it, but I think in general, if you announce it early, I think it actually has a reverse effect. Like, I think it would hurt your recruiting in most cases. It didn't really hurt Duke's recruiting because they're Duke and because guys weren't necessarily committing to Duke solely to play for Coach K. They were committing to Duke to be part of the brotherhood and put that Duke jersey on and get the NIL and all that shit. Have Jason Tatum in their DMs. Um, I think most programs, if their coach was like, "Hey, I'm leaving next year," would probably see a pretty large departure in things as far as roster building goes. So, it is interesting though. Did you read the article on Izzo?
I did. But I might have missed it. Was the actual question asked like what would he do when he retires or how would he approach it? Was that actually how the question was worded?
It might have been asked, but it wasn't like transcripted that way or
Okay.
transcribed,
Yeah.
transpired, as you like to say.
Transcribed. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I I thought it was a candid interview. I enjoyed getting some insight from Tom. He said if I have to take a transfer, I'll take a transfer, which was interesting. But he's still acting like he's being held hostage to do it. And I don't know. Some Michigan State fans seem to came away with that. Like, isn't this exactly what we want to hear? And if you read the whole article, I was like, I don't think this is at all. He's like, I'm staying for 5 more years, and I hate where this is headed. Like that's not what you want to hear. Like,
It's
um,
like you're yelling at your boy that if you jump in the pool, like you'll be fine. Like he thinks he's gonna sink because he can't swim, but you're like, dude, it's a 5 foot pool. Just jump in and you'll be able to stand. That's like Izzo like won't take the transfer because he thinks he's gonna drown or thinks he's gonna go bad. Like you'll be fine. You'll be
yeah,
okay, bro. You can stand.
he was literally saying like, I, uh, I want to buck the trend so bad it's making me more competitive, and either it's gonna get me or I'm gonna get it. And it's like, it's probably gonna get you. Like if that's your approach for the next 5 years, still, it's probably just gonna get you. Like you are on the verge of maybe missing the tournament. And I don't think that's going to get better when you lose Tyson Walker if your approach doesn't change. And he doesn't sound like his approach is going to change. So it was interesting. But with that said, the funniest part of it to me was
Oh God.
he kept saying well, he talked about Nick Saban and the close relationship that they have and how much respect he has for him and how surprised he was that he stepped down. Um, just thought it was very funny that like he's like, when I retire, I'm gonna do it like Nick Saban does. I love the guy who's not gonna retire talking about how when he does retire, he's gonna retire like the guy who never talked about retiring. That's hilarious to me. Like Tom Izzo will be here for another decade, probably talking about what he'll do when he'll retire more. I'm sure that'll heat up over the next couple of years. Like when I retire, it's gonna be like this. Yeah, you already broke your rule. If you're going to retire like Nick Saban, did he ever mention retirement? No, not once. And you already broke it.
We did. There's probably
All right.
somewhere out there where he
All right.
did.
Well, when I retire, Car, I'm going to do it like the guy who never talked about retiring. But that's what I'll do when I retire is do it like the guy who never talked about retire. Okay. Guy said some interesting boxing matchups. Who wins? Greg Marshall versus Juwan Howard.
I think Greg Marshall wins.
Yeah, depends on the context of what they're fighting over and where, but just intrinsically, Greg Marshall seems like he'd be filled with rage in
Good
that
word.
matchup. Tim Anderson from Illinois basketball versus Tim Anderson from the Chicago White Sox baseball.
Tim Anderson from Illinois basketball.
No, no.
Tim Anderson Tim Anderson from baseball got knocked out this season.
Yeah, but I don't know. That guy seems more athletic than assistant coach Tim Anderson right now.
I'm taking coach.
I'm I don't know that coach has anything in his game other than like walking by, not high fiving. That's it. Like,
So he has no hands, huh?
one bear sized Carter versus 40 house cat sized Gregs.
Wouldn't that just be like one Carter? Why'd you have to put the bear sized? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Um,
And is it like a cub or is it like a mama bear?
yeah, like am I a grizzly? Like a
Polar?
Yeah, something.
If you were a bear, what bear would you be?
What bear would I be?
If you were a bear, what bear would you be?
A brown bear.
Okay.
I think they're the most athletic of the bear family.
I feel like you're making that up, but I'll buy it. So who wins? You as a bear or 40 me cats?
I think 40 house size Greg cats because I'm assuming they have your mental as well.
Yeah.
And so all 40 cats will be connected. They'll be on the same page.
Yeah.
And there will be some mental warfare also involved with that. That would probably have me in hell. Also, cats are very agile and sneaky. Put that with your mind, which is also agile and sneaky. Yeah, I'd probably be in a bad place. I wouldn't be the favorite.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer and the right reason as well. I don't know that there's many things more dangerous on this earth than 40 me's in cat bodies. Like if there's 40 of me with my brain, 40 of it in little cats, we could do some things. We could do some very dangerous things.
Are you saying that any animal would probably like what if you were 40 ants?
It'd be different because ants obviously have physical limit, but like cats can scratch, they can jump, they're quick as shit. Like if I had those physical powers 40 times over with what I got in here, and they were all like, they had like a pre-fight meeting, and it's like, okay, here's the cat plan. I would love our chances against like a lot of bigger animals than a bear,
I would too, actually.
whether or not they have your brain or not. Like I'm just in on that. All right, Vanderbilt football versus Vanderbilt basketball
Everyone
in a
loses.
boxing matchup.
Everyone loses.
Yeah, I guess.
They,
Football,
they
because
meet up to fight at a location. They both show up to the wrong spot, and there's actually no fight that happens.
football would win because football. John Sanderson versus Joe Krabenhoft.
Sanderson.
Yeah, Sanderson. I think Sanderson wins a lot of these physical altercations if he wants to. And then the A10 versus the AAC. I don't know how we got to a point where we're just here's a conference. What if a conference boxed another conference?
Yeah. Guys, seek help. Help.
Yeah, is this a cry for help from Guy? I don't know. Fun question here from Dat Boy from Illinois.
Oh,
If Greg
I
If Greg guards, guard great guards, which guards guard, Greg guards great guards?
was also requested to read this, so this is for Ulamog. If Greg guard great guards, which guards guard Greg guards great guards? So it'd be Chucky Hepburn and AJ Storr versus Johnny Davis and younger Chucky Hepburn. I don't know. He's been there for a long time. Greg Gard has had some good guards, good wings.
I mean, it could be any guards, is the actual answer to this prompt. Like, we just would need to pick any great guards to guard Greg guards.
But can Greg guard Greg?
Yeah, I responded and said, can Greg guards? And then that boy said, can Greg guard Greg?
I don't think Greg Gard can guard you for what it's worth.
Greg Gard might be able to guard me, but if Greg Gard leaves me open, he can't guard me. Can I guard Greg Gard's guards? No. Greg cannot guard Greg Gard's guards. But could Greg Gard's guards guard Greg?
Yes.
Could Greg Gard's guards guard Greg Gard and Greg? Could Greg Gard's guards guard Greg Gard guarding Greg?
Could Greg's guards guard Greg's guards who's guarding Connor Season?
Let's move on. Seyfried says, what does Mike Woodson do with Xavier Johnson? Even less minutes and just ride it out with Cups, give him some sort of come to Jesus moment. What's it going to take to improve the team's performance?
You sit him. You don't play him.
Yeah, I think that's where it's headed. I think there's a non-zero chance that Xavier Johnson is not with the team in a month. That's where I'm at. Not going to speculate beyond that further. I don't wish that that's the outcome, but the body language PhD in me and just reading the obvious situation here, I think like Xavier's what, 24? It's his sixth year in college basketball. Like
Maybe 25.
If the writing's on the wall, he didn't come here to sit behind Gabe Cupps on a losing team. And that's a selfish thing. But like, if he's really going to start playing 10 minutes a game off the bench in the fashion that he is, why would he remain with the team? Just leave the team. And honestly, if he left the team, it might be a boost to the team. That's where I'm at this point. So keep an eye on that. Boom Fizzle 79 says, I don't think Greg should give up the Demons dialogue yet, since he likens this season to last and says it's playing out the exact same. I want to hear the 7 demons Purdue needs to exercise to climb out of the 7 hells of basketball purgatory. We'll count winning Assembly Hall as the first demon banished and out of the first circle. What are the other 6?
I don't know where you put this at. One of them's got to be make a Final Four. That's probably the last demon.
Yeah, so first off, the demons dialogue is not the demons dialogue anymore. It's the Bradens dialogue. We talked about this in the recap last night. Go watch it on the channel. In my opinion, the demons were vanquished last night for everybody except for Braden. Braden was still seeing ghosts. You're not going to convince me otherwise. That man just was not operating like a sane person when hunting his shots. And at his best, he's unstoppable. Last night, he was very stoppable because he stopped himself. Now, with that said, I don't think there's many more demons for Purdue to like vanquish. Like if we banished one, like to me, you squashed it. You beat Indiana. You didn't do that last year. You did it this year. So I'm not running around saying it's the same narrative as last year anymore, because it changed when you beat Indiana. That's the moment that everything changed. If there were 6 more demons, it's just every round of the NCAA tournament. That's all it is. Like you get 1 demon point for getting past a 16 seed. Woohoo! Throw a party. Harry's chocolate shop lines out the door. Like advance, survive and advance, and vanquish 6 more demons in the most important time of the year. It's what you got to do. Will they do it? Probably. Maybe not. It's a world where they don't.
The world where they do.
There's a world where they definitely do. There's a world where they don't.
There is a world.
There's a world where they do.
I've seen that world.
Where they do?
Where they don't.
What about the world where they do? Do you think it's a beautiful world?
I have a theory in my head that I don't know if Purdue fans are mentally, or I don't know if they're ready or equipped to handle making it to a Final Four.
Yeah, I don't know. You want to flesh that out more, or you want to sit on that for a little bit?
I want to sit on that for a little bit. Pause.
I'd like to hear more about it. Yeah, Jesus. Painter's Petting Zoo alumni says, I heard the announcers in the Purdue or Penn State game, forget which, mentioned that the Big Ten has the lowest road win percentage of any Power 5 conference. Spoke to the depth of the league. The depth of the league. Do you agree that it's a depth of the league thing, or is it a fan/venue difference, a physicality thing, or something else? Me.
Right.
It's that the teams stink. It's that the teams are bad at basketball. It's not how good the bottom half of the league is. It's how bad the top half of the league is. And I know, Painter, Petting Zoo alumni, you're a Purdue fan, Boom Fizzle, all the Purdue fans in Discord. I love all of you. You are excluded from this. Purdue's a great basketball team. You're the best team in the country. That's not going anywhere. And in fact, it would be nice if you could win more road games, so that maybe the conference's numbers looked better because our elite team won more road games. You did that last night at Assembly Hall. That's great. Maybe next time you go to Evanston or Lincoln, it would be nice if you came away with a win. There's some more road games on the schedule. But everybody else in this conference is bad. Everybody else. We can pretend Wisconsin's like a top 10 team in the country. Yay. Woohoo. Sure. Fine. Haha. We can pretend Illinois without Terrence Shannon Jr. is like a top 5 team in the country. I picked them to be my national champion. Pending Terrence Shannon Jr. coming back. I still believe in that team in March in a big way. They're not playing good right now. Like they're just not playing good right now, at least from the Maryland game on. So outside of those 3 teams, everybody's bad. Everybody in this league's bad. Ohio State was supposed to be the 4th best team in this conference. They're horrible right now. Maryland was supposed to be good preseason. They're horrible right now. Go down the list. Iowa, France just here to set the record for wins at Iowa. That's it. Juwan Howard's getting fired. Tom Izzo has the worst year of his career. The Penn State coach, Mike Rhodes, has more wins in the Big Ten this season. It's his first year in the Big Ten. He has more wins than Tom Izzo, Juwan Howard, Steve Peichel, and somebody else I'm forgetting right now. No, Chris Holtman. It's
Oh,
absurd. It's absurd. This conference is bad. That's what it is. It's not anything about depth and good teams. It's that bad basketball teams don't win road games. This conference has 11 bad basketball teams.
that makes sense.
Sorry, had to get that off my chest.
I knew it was coming right when I saw the comment.
I think my sinuses opened up in the middle of
That
that.
felt good.
Yeah, I felt kind of good. Ryan the Lion says, Ryan the Lions matchup of the day. Tyson Walker, Terrence Shannon Jr., Cliff Amorie versus Doug McDaniel, Olivier Kamala, Zach Edey.
The team without Doug.
Yeah, I want to just blindly take the team with Zach Edey, but I think the other team's better. Tyson, TSJ.
Yeah, and it said versus, which means at, which wait, no, it's at home, and Doug will be able to play.
No, because Tyson was the first team and they got the verses. So that means
Ah,
they're at home. Yeah. So Doug might be Jalen Llewellyn for 39 minutes in that one. That's tough. Lastly, I was Ryan the Lion last night in the Purdue game thread. Do you have any comment on that?
no, I thought Stripes did a great job.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, gotta applaud the Stripes. Great job in that game. Okay, let's get to the show. Today we got 3 topics. You wanted to start off with the top 5 biggest disappointments in college basketball.
Yeah, and I want to limit us to one Big Ten team because if we wanted to, this could be a Big Ten specific question. We could pick 5 most disappointing things about the Big Ten, but I'd like to limit us to only one team and one. Actually, no, just one topic from the Big Ten, whether it be a team, player, whatever you want to do, but only one.
Okay.
I'd like to lead with Michigan State basketball.
Wow. Accountability from you. Okay.
I
Explain.
mean, top five preseason team. Now we're talking about we need to boost our resume to make the tournament, and we're projected in the playing game currently in a lot of bracketology circles. So if that's not disappointing, I don't know what is.
So we're combining for this list, right? So you just took our Big Ten one.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then I'll go second. I'm going to take Texas A&M. I'm going to take Texas A&M. They are 10-7 on the year. This is a team that went 15-3 in SEC play last season. That returned their biggest key pieces. They're 1-3 to start SEC play this season with a road loss at Arkansas, who literally hates playing basketball with each other. Like I don't know how they lost last night, other than I do know how they lost last night. Is that Tyrese Radford was an abomination. Tyrese Radford was 2 for 15 from the floor, 0 for 5 from 3. Everybody's gassing up on After Dark last night. Like Wade Taylor had 41 points. He tried to keep minute. He was 13 for 32 from the floor. That's not good. That's not good. It's horrendous. I don't know, man. That team should be really good, and they're just not. They're not good at all. The Kentucky win was good, but I'm jumping off the Texas A&M bandwagon after last night.
Good pick. This one I'd like to throw out there, but it's under review, and you can swat this down if you'd like. UCLA.
Yeah.
Were they good enough to actually be disappointing in the preseason?
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Okay. I mean, it's just been an absolute dumpster fire. You talk about teams not wanting to win, not wanting to play. I mean, they're going on the road. They're losing by 50 to Utah. Every post game is Mick Cronin mad about his team and mad about the players that he brought in. And then you have all the rumors surrounding about where he's gonna go next, and he's just like an angry little man after every single game. So that program's one with history, but it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. Credit to us though for kind of seeing it coming. We did have a call out in the preseason predictions episode that UCLA would miss the tournament. So yay, we got something right. My next biggest disappointment in college basketball this season is myself. Daily picks have been a disaster, and
Oh,
that's unacceptable. I keep getting to 500. I keep getting to 500. I got one game above 500 for a day. Went 0-3 last night. I think the full card was like 1-6, 1-7, maybe 2-6. I don't know. I haven't added it up yet because I'm terrified. Just can't do it. It's happened over and over and over again. Then I scratch and claw for like 3 weeks to get back to 500. And then I just go 0-3 or 0-5 immediately after getting there. Hand up. It's on me. I'm just putting up a giant stinker this year. I'm like the guy who came back for his COVID year, and now he looks like Xavier Johnson.
I still believe in you.
I don't. I have no belief, but I'm going to power through because I have to. I have no choice. I have to do this for the people. I have to do right by them. But like, I'm Xavier Johnson with the picks right now.
I can't allow that.
I know. I know. It's horrible.
We can't let that happen.
We did. It's happening. It's already happened. There's nothing. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know what to do. What's the final disappointment?
Oh, yeah. We probably should have put more spots to this or done our separate list, but it's okay though. I'd like your suggestion for this, but I would like to throw out Texas.
I think Texas is disappointing to us.
Not the country. What about Creighton?
Creighton's been better. Creighton's been better than they were supposed to be. I would go one of two teams on the West Coast for my final answer.
Zags
Yep.
or St. Mary's?
Yep. I think it's one of those two. Because the thing with St. Mary's is they're actually good again. They just for a month and a half, they were like the worst team in basketball. And now magically they're like the team they were supposed to be, but it's too late because they're not going to get an auto bid. And same with Gonzaga, like, or an at large, I mean. Like these teams have played their way out of the tournament already. Like they now, which makes it more fun. Like the West Coast Conference race will be fun because these teams have to win the conference tournament again. But it's not what you hoped. Like Gonzaga was supposed to be a top 15-ish team, and St. Mary's was supposed to be really good. Didn't happen at all.
Yeah, I think I'd give the edge to St. Mary's because I think they had a lot. I mean, they were the preseason favorite to win the regular season, which they still might. Who knows? But yeah, I think I'd throw them out there. Honorable mention, and just because I'm not allowed to do more Big Ten things, I don't care. This needs to be thrown out there. All freshmen in the Big Ten, liars.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
of
they're
them.
bad. Yeah, we're letting Owen Freeman get the shine. Like he's the poster boy right now. Like at a certain point, people got to look themselves in the mirror. Like Scotty Middleton needs to like eat a hamburger or something and realize he needs to change this.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's bad. Trying to think. There's been a lot
Harrison
of
lied to us.
disappointing things this year. I'm constantly disappointed. I am a disappointment.
Do you think people are disappointed with us?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You think?
Definitely. Most definitely. Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. I just wanted to see how long we could go silent for. The thing is, you would have sat there for another minute, I feel like.
Yeah. Sorry to anyone in their car who just thought that maybe their podcast episode went off. We're still here.
Yeah. Okay. There's a couple games from last night that I want to do recaps for. We won't always do this, but when there's results as crazy as last night's were that we just didn't budget for mentally, we will sometimes spend segments of the show going back and kind of reassessing them. So I want to start with the Baylor Kansas State game. So it was a wild game. Kansas State at home. It felt like they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat twice. They were down, I believe, 6 points with 3 minutes left in regulation. Jerome Tang takes a timeout. Stellar run out of the timeout, sent it to overtime. And then in overtime, they were down 5 with a little over a minute left, I believe. They made every clutch play late. Baylor had a bunch of chances to ice the game. They never could do it. I think Kansas State's a pretty bad basketball team. They've won 5 games in overtime. They're 13-4. Give them credit for winning at home. This is a big resume win. 13-4. 5 of your wins came in overtime. Like that seems like someone's hot at the blackjack table. That's all. They keep hitting with 18 and they keep hitting it. It's just like stop. Like just win a game in regulation. Do you agree with me that Kansas State might not be that good even though they're winning this game?
Yeah, a little cardiac cats action. But yeah, I think that this was a game that they, like you said, snatched from the jaws of defeat. And if I'm a Baylor player, supporter, whatever fan, whatever you want to call it, I'm a little bit disappointed that at this point of the season, with the older experienced guards they have, with Scott Drew as the coach, that they seem to have these issues like late game, I guess. Like even in the game that where they won at Oklahoma State, I thought there was a lot of interesting decisions made down the stretch by guards, which unfortunately Oklahoma State's guards are the same by giving it right back to them. But some odd decision making for guards who are very experienced and very good that I wouldn't expect out of a Scott Drew team. And like this one's got hurt somewhat. Like Scott Drew lost to his pupil. Like the master lost to his student.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerome Tang's 3-0 against Baylor now.
That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's impressive for sure. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, did Jerome Tang like make a deal with someone? Like, I can't process a team being 5-0 in overtime games.
If someone did make a deal, they would look like Jerome Tang. If that makes sense.
I don't want to flesh out what that means, but yeah, like my program's like 2-29 in close games in the last 4 years, and Jerome Tang's just 5-0 in overtime. I don't get it. I don't
Well,
get
I mean, to somewhat fact, they have a clutch player. Like I know Tyler Perry has struggled a little bit, but he does make clutch plays.
Doug's gonna play for Jerome Tang next year and do this. Like I don't get it. I'm not in on the personnel player stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was a weird game. I don't know how Baylor didn't win it. I was on After Dark with Field of 68 last night, and Chris Mack was on the show with us, and he just kept repeating like there were so many boneheaded plays by Baylor, just like fouling when they shouldn't foul. They fouled Arthur Kaluma on the 3-pointer. They hip checked Tyler Perry twice in the final 20 minutes of regulation and sent him to the free throw line. It's just weird. It's just very boneheaded, weird plays, which you would not expect from a Scott Drew team. Also, you don't expect a Scott Drew team to go 5 for 28 from three. At the end of the day, you shoot 5 for 28 from three in this game. You lose in overtime. Make 25% of your threes. You win the game.
Yeah, and also Baylor, one of the best shooting teams in the country, too. By the way,
Yeah.
shooting
Yeah.
five.
This is like with Baylor. I don't know. You and I were very out on them after the Michigan State game. I kind of like slowly swung back around on them where I could see them making a tournament run. I like that they have a superstar pro level guy in Jacoby Walter. A lot of teams don't have that this year. Ray J. Dennis has been awesome as a facilitator. He was only 2 for 15 from the floor last night. That's obviously not good, but they kind of have more defensively than I realized because Bridges is a very good defender, very versatile, and Missy has really come on as like an instant impact center in a way that Scott Drew hasn't had in a couple years. So all in all, like I want to believe in this Baylor team. The problem with them for me is like in their losses, they've just put up total stinkers. And I'm not convinced when the NCAA tournament gets here, even if they look good for the first two games, I don't think they can go 6 straight games without going like 4 for 30 from three.
Yeah, like and the thing is, we haven't seen a game where they go 4 for 30 like that and win. At
Yeah.
least in my like they don't. Good teams are able to overcome clunkers like on the road. It's like a find a way game, and honestly, not to play the moral victory banner, but like they found a way in this game. They just got to close it out. Like you had it. The fouls were the one that was Jaden Nunn hit the layup and like fouled. I think Perry like 60 feet from the basket, and he's a 94% 3-point shooter, a 3-point free throw shooter. That's just inexcusable stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy. Kansas State, are they a tournament team?
No.
They might end up getting there just because of how good the Big 12 is. They have the resume at this point.
Do they have they don't have any like bad losses?
I mean, they lost to Nebraska at home. That doesn't look great, but Nebraska's pretty good. Lost by 1 at Texas Tech. Nobody's going to kill them for that. Lost to Miami. Lost to USC earlier in the year. That's bad. But I don't know. They need to stack up some impressive wins, but that Villanova win's going to go a long way. Win over Providence will matter in the end. Um, Baylor right now is obviously a great win.
Yeah,
I don't know.
true. I guess they got
I think they're there. And is Arthur Kaluma? We've done this for years. I feel like we're at the point where we almost need to reach a decision. Is he the best bad basketball player, or is he the worst good basketball player in college basketball?
he's the worst good player.
I've swung on that too. I used to think he was the best bad. He's officially good. He's just the worst good player
Yeah,
there is. Yeah. Yeah, same. Great shot by him though. That and 1-3 was big. Kind of won them the game.
I still want to make it very unequivocally clear though that the Big 12 team that will go the farthest in the NCAA tournament is Baylor.
I think that's a good call too. Last thing we just have to mention, if we're gonna talk this game, we have to be honest about it. Couple big calls, as we said, couple foul calls sent him to the stripe late, the 3-point foul. What did you think of the refs in this game?
I think the rest did great.
I thought they were good. Okay, let's move on. Arkansas against Texas A&M. Must Bus has been dead for 2 weeks. They jumped out to a 20-point lead over the Aggies. I talked about the Aggies as one of my most disappointing teams in the country. They're also one of the more entertaining teams in the country to watch when they're trying to come back. They did complete the comeback. Wade Taylor hits the crazy 3 late, gives them a 1-point lead. Arkansas needs to go coast to coast in 7 seconds. Enter Tremont Mark, who had a career high 35 points. He hits the game winner with a second left. Really tough bucket that he made look really easy, to be honest. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. Let's start with the obvious after you watch this game. There were so many fouls called in this game both ways. There were 50 fouls called total. 50 fouls in this game, in a 40-minute basketball game. What'd you think of the refs?
I thought the refs were good in this game.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So Arkansas, are, are they still dead after this? Can they still be dead after an emotional win like this?
I think they're still dead, to be honest with you. Like they blew the lead. Um, it took a 20%. I mean, like you said, Radford was absolutely awful in this game. Wade Taylor, for all the heroics he did, 13 for 32 was awful. Like, I don't really care about that 41. I get it, a 40 ball is a 40 ball, but like, come on now. Let's actually look at those percentages a little bit in those attempts. Uh, Valiant effort for them to come back, but I don't know. I still, when I watch Arkansas, I don't come away from that game being like, ooh, Arkansas is turning a corner. Like, oh, here comes like the must bust to make their run through the SEC and somehow get into the NCAA tournament. I still think that this basketball team is just not a tournament team, and must bust might be on his way out.
Yeah, I was less impressed with Arkansas after last night, man. I know that sounds crazy, but like, they blew a 20-point lead in a game where
At the crib.
at the crib. They blew a 20-point lead at the crib in a game where they went to the free throw line 40 times. They shot 40 free throws. They shot 31 for 40 from free throw, and they still blew the lead. Like, I don't even know how that's possible. I want to give Tremont Mark a ton of credit. Like, if there is one takeaway in a very strong way, it's like you have a superstar. Maybe don't forget who your superstar is, because he's played like Russian roulette with all of these Arkansas guards in the last couple games, where it's like tonight it's Keon Menifield's game, and then it's Al Ellis's game, and then it's Khalif Battle's game. Well, okay. No, maybe it should always be Tremont Mark's game. Like, no matter who's been in and out of the lineup, this guy's been super this year. He had 34 against North Carolina. He had 35 tonight. That dude should be a first-team All-SEC player. You shouldn't be as bad as Arkansas is, no matter what other chaotic things are around him, if you have that guy on your team. And I think Muss would be well served to maybe run everything around him. Like, we saw my horrible basketball coach last year, halfway through the season, was like, let me stop drawing things up for my son and dial things up for Kobe Buffkin, who's special. And it changed Michigan's season. Like, they were more competitive. So Arkansas kind of needs to do that right now. Stop flirting with Keon Menifeld, with L. Ellis. Just get the ball to the man who can score 35 and get out of the way.
I love that, and I think that would be the best for Arkansas. But this will be every Arkansas player looking at Tremont Mark or Muss when they say they're going to do that. This is exactly what they're going to do. Devo Davis in the corner. Trevon Brazile. Everyone. Keon Menifeld. I want ball. I want to score. I want to drive must bus. Everyone. I want to be Bud Walton superstar. I've been here forever. Why he get to be superstar? He came in from Houston.
My ball, win.
My ball, wham, wham. Like that is what it is. That's the state of the team, unfortunately.
So it doesn't matter then. None of this matters.
No, it doesn't. I would vote Arkansas most likely team this year to have their own player block one of their own player shots.
Do you think
Like
any
in a game where they are 20 this year, like late in the second half, I think like Trevon Brazile will like pin one of Devo Davis's breakaway layups and act like it's a joke, but like he really wanted to do that all season.
do you think anyone was happy for Tremont Mark after this game?
No,
Not at all.
they were sick that they didn't hit it.
Do you think there's a chance we get a shirtless Eric Musselman in the NIT though?
I think there's a chance. There's always a chance that we get a shirtless Eric Musselman in the Sweet 16, by the way.
This year could still be a Sweet 16 run?
Somehow the bus will sputter its way. I could see a world where they sputter.
I think the only way that happens is win the SEC tournament, which I guess could happen.
Which could happen.
I guess it could happen. Yeah, I think this is an NIT team. I'll be curious if they play when they get there and if Muss's celebrations translate into that tournament. On the flip side, Texas A&M tournament team, yes or no? They're 10-7 now, 1-3 in the SEC.
Yes.
I don't think so. I think they've done too much damage to their resume. We'll see. I don't know. I wish. I love watching this team, man. They the only bright thing I can say about Texas A&M after a night like last night is you can never count them out. The two craziest comebacks I've now seen this year have both been Texas A&M. They were down 21 at Iowa State in the non-con, came back to win that game. And then in this one, they were down 20 and just kept fouling and still erased a 20-point deficit despite Arkansas getting free throws every possession. It was crazy. But shout out the refs, though. They did a great job last night. All right.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Let's get to one big thing presented by Big B. What's your one big thing?
Oh, I didn't come prepared with the one big thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can go first if you need me to buy you some time.
Yes, please.
Okay, you often promote products on this program. That's three straight pro words in a row. Promote products program. I'd like to promote a product on this program today. And it's a product that I need right now. It's a product I used last night. I'll be using it tonight. Nose strips. If you haven't used a nose strip at night, Breathe Right nose strips. Highly recommend. Incredible. Just they help you breathe right. That's all I'll say. It opens everything up. I don't know how it works. I don't get how they do it. You just like strap it right here, and then all of a sudden, like there's passages you haven't seen in your nose, ladies and gentlemen. Like I don't know how my nose operates on a day-to-day without those passages, but it works. But then you get to nighttime, you're just about to, go to the little snoozy land, get a little slumber in. Boom. Everything's suddenly green pastures and fields and butterflies. It's lovely. I've done it the last 2 nights. We got a brand new box of them. We got more in the Amazon cart already for when we need to restock. And things are looking up in my household, in my nose.
How many Amazon deliveries does the Waddell household get a week?
Mal does a lot. I am not responsible for any of them. She probably does 4 to 5 a week.
Has it been increased post BM?
Yeah. Yep. It's just like it almost feels like she has like a subscription service of like random child accessories 3 days a week showing up to our door.
Yeah. Shout out to Bezos.
Yeah.
On the topic of strips,
are we really shouting out Bezos?
should we not?
Don't we got to take like a hard stance against the list?
Oh yeah, we do.
Is he on the list?
Who isn't on the list? Have we gotten an official list? We might have to do a segment on it when we get an official list.
I just assumed that he was on the list, but I don't know that for sure. I don't want to get in an Aaron Rodgers situation here, but
thumbnail. Which college basketball player and coach most likely to be on the list?
Ooh, can we do that actually real quick?
Yeah. Who's the player and the coach most likely to be on the list?
I can't say who I'm going to say. I'll say it after the show ends. I can't say it.
Okay. I'm not gonna say mine
It's a
either.
it's a player from one of our primary audiences, so I don't want to say it.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
While we're on the while we're on the topic of strips and things on your face, I'd actually like to send a shout to something that I do when I sleep, a product that I use. And it's not a nasal strip, Greg, but it's actually mouth tape while you sleep. You ever use that?
It sounds the opposite of the purpose of my nose strips, but I
Yeah,
don't want
but
to I don't want to feel like I'm being kidnapped when I
no, no,
sleep.
no, 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 no. So use this when you're not sick, like when you don't have a stuffed up nose. But it prevents you. I don't know if you're a mouth breather or not, but when you sleep, but it prevents you from doing like heavy breathing through your mouth. Also prevents snoring too, as well. If you have that issue, you know I do. And it it just gives you more of a deeper, calmer sleep and a noticeable difference. So I recommend giving that a try. I'm a big fan of it. You can just get like a 1,000 pack off of Amazon for like $5.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Sleep with the sleepers.
Yeah, and for those who are going to ask this question, yes, I do use 2 strips because I have big lips and a mouth, big mouth.
We'll see you tomorrow.